Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be trying something a little different than what I've done in the past. Um, Lately I've been playing more World of Warcraft, Classic and Retail. I've been streaming them a bit more, and I've really been wanting to do a video where I go through and kind of read the quests as I get them. I wanted to start with the classic version, but it is still Wrath of the Lich King, so it's not the very first one. And the reason I chose to start with that is because after the expansion that comes after the Wrath of the Lich King, I feel a lot of quests in the old world changed, kind of updated. There might be some background noise in this because unfortunately it is a live game, so I can't go back and redo it. So if there is noise in the background, I do apologize. So I started a brand new character for this to kind of start fresh. And there is a cutscene at the beginning. I did try and turn down some of the game noise, so it's hopefully not too distracting. But we're gonna try this out and see how it turns out. So I am gonna start off with the cutscene.
For 10,000 years, the immortal night elves cultivated a druid society within the shadowed recesses of Ashenvale Forest. Yet recently, the catastrophic invasion of the Burning Legion shattered the tranquility of their ancient civilization. Led by the arch-druid Malfurion Stormrage and the priestess Tyrande Whisperwind, the mighty night elves rose to challenge the demonic onslaught. Though victorious, the Night Elves were forced to sacrifice their cherished immortality and watch their beloved forests burn. Seeking to regain their immortality, a number of wayward druids conspired to plant a special tree that would link their spirits to the eternal world. Despite Malfurion's warnings that nature would never bless such a selfish act, the druids planted the great tree Teldrassil off the stormy coasts of northern Kalimdor. Within the twilight boughs of the colossal tree, the wondrous city of Darnassus took root. However, the great tree was not consecrated with nature's blessing, and soon fell prey to the corruption of the Burning Legion. Now the wildlife, and even the limbs of the great tree itself, are tainted by a growing darkness. As one of the few night elves still left in the world, it is your sworn duty to defend Darnassus and the wild children of nature against the Legion's encroaching corruption.
Naturally, I do have some add-ons that are loading. So the first quest I get is called the Balance of Nature. Greetings, Lunacy. I am Conservator Ilthaling. My purpose in Shadowglen is to ensure that the balance of nature is maintained. The spring rains were particularly heavy this year, causing some of the forest's beasts to flourish while others suffered. Unfortunately, the night saber and thistleboar populations grew too large. Shadowglen can only produce so much food for the beasts. Journey forth, young druid, and thin the boar and saber populations so that nature's harmony will be preserved. Quest objectives is to kill 4 young lightsabers and 4 young thistlebores, and return to Conservator Ilfilane. So naturally, I picked a Night Elf Druid. That is what my main character is. I think I am going to further adjust the audio to be a little bit quieter, just because the spells seem a little bit louder. But also, I do want to turn on auto loot if I can find it. There we go. I always think that it's interesting because when it comes to druids and night elves, they are supposed to be really in tune with nature. And I thought it interesting that the first thing that they have you do is to go and kill wildlife. And there are other aspects of the game that I don't know the details to, so I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of start a character and really read through the quest and find like the details of the story. And I did pick a relatively popular realm for this, just because I think it would be more interesting to have more traffic as far as questing, because when it comes to group quests, sometimes it's a little hard to solo some of them in the older content. So, you said you performed your duties well, and I'm going to pick the gloves. So next, I'm going to do Verdant Sigil. This sigil was given to me by a messenger from our druid trainer, Murdant. It seems Murdant would have words with you when you have a moment. Read it and bring it to him afterwards. So I need to read the Verdant Sigil and speak to Murdant Strong Oak in the tree Aldrasil in Shadowglen, which is that tree there. And then he's also giving me the balance of nature, thinning the younger population of the creatures here in Shadowglen was a good start, Lunacy, but there is still work to be done. The resources of the forest will be depleted too quickly if the problem is not addressed. Killing nature's beasts is a necessary evil for the good of all who share the land. Venture into the forest and slay mangy lightsabers and thistlebores in the name of balance. Conservator Ilithane needs you to kill 5 mangy lightsabers and 5 thistlebores. And then he's going to give me some more gear. And that Verdant Sigil says, when word reached me that you were ready, I sent this sigil immediately. All of the Cenarius druids take great satisfaction in seeing our numbers bolster. The spirits even seem to have become stronger with our enchanted presence. In time, and with some patience, hopefully our strength will return to its former grandeur. Find me near the top of Aldrasil when you are ready. I will be your guide as long as you are in Shadowglen. So, I think I'm going to start with that just because it seems a bit simpler. Another night elf druid. I really do like the aesthetic of the night elf areas. I always have. I actually want to say that it was a very similar time when I started playing World of Warcraft as when I discovered ASMR. So it does kind of run together for me as a similar time in my life. Alright, so Verdant Sigil. Ah, young druid, I see you're eager to continue your studies. Good. I wonder, have you spent much time in the Emerald Dream already? Perhaps you're not prepared for that yet. In time, I'm sure. But until then, we should discuss other matters. I will be your mentor and guide for now. It is my duty to teach you how to interpret not only what the spirits communicate to us, but also the complexities and secrets of the Emerald Dream. As you learn and grow in power, you will learn more of our sleeping trance, but until then, return to me as often as you'd like, and I will teach you what I can in ways of our kind. So he's just introducing himself, that whenever I can learn new spells, I can come to him while I'm in this area. And he just taught me my buff, which is called Mark of the Wild. I do want to keep that up as much as I can. I think I'm going to move my Shadow Meld over. I move my healing spell over a little bit, because that's not something that I should need anytime soon. Usually I won't need that until I leave the little starting zone. And since I'm ranged, I'm not melee. At least that's the way I play. Druids can be melee if they are the feral form, but I generally go towards balance. I like casting spells a little bit more. So now, since I finished talking to him, I'm gonna go do that other quest for the thistle boars and the sabers that are a little bit stronger than the ones I was fighting for the previous quest. I do like the ranged aspect a little bit more. With the early content, you don't really see a huge difference, um, in my opinion. But once you get to like the later content, it does, I think, become a little bit easier to be a ranged character, because as you see, I'm able to attack them before they're able to come over to me and start doing damage, which of course naturally I enjoy having an advantage rather than a disadvantage. So I killed all the boars that I need to, and now I'm gonna do the sabers. Actually, those are the wrong sabers. So I'm going to swim over to the other side. There should be plenty over here, yes. And while I don't have a problem with my mana now, if I, probably not in this video, but I probably will in the somewhat near future, the higher the level, the bigger my mana pool and my health pool will be, but also because I will be upgrading my spells, they will cost more mana. And because this is classic and not retail, it is a little bit harder to get gear and things to help you out with things like mana regeneration. In retail, there is like a group finder. It makes it a lot easier to group up with people and do different dungeons for better gear. In Wrath of the Lich King, I did play it when it was current content, but it wasn't until more towards the end of that expansion that they introduced the dungeon finder and the raid finder to make it easier. So I think that Blizzard Entertainment wanted to keep that classic feel still in the Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which I completely respect. If I absolutely need to itch that scratch of needing my LFGs or looking for groups, I can play retail, which I usually do. So the balance of nature. You have proven your dedication to nature well, Lunacy. A young druid like yourself has a promising future. I'm going to take the belt this time, as it does offer a little more armor than the cloak. I do need to remember to equip my new gear. It's cloth. And as a druid, I am a leather wearer. Interesting. I thought the centaur behind me had a quest. The add-on I'm using does track available quests. So the Woodland Protector. Thank goodness you are here, druid. Strange news has traveled to me through the whisperings of the forest spirits. The mysterious Woodland Protector, Tarandrella, has returned to Shadowglen. The Dryad presence has not been felt in the forests of Kalimdor in years. Something is surely amiss if she has journeyed back to this land. Seek out Tarandrella and see what business she tends to in our grove. One of the sentinels reported seeing her in the southwest of Aldrasil. Seek out the dryad known as Tarandrella. And I do believe that is the centaur that I was just talking about. But since I'm over here, I am going to pick up this quest as well. A good friend. A friend of mine named Averon usually visits me at the same time every day. The strange thing is, he hasn't been by me today at all. He's several hours late, in fact. I admit I am a little worried, Lunacy. Averon spends a lot of time over by the cave to the north, and I'm sure you know how dangerous it is there. Spiders everywhere. If you happen to be going that way, though, will you keep an eye out for him? Quest objective: find Everon by the cave to the north. And I can't help but to notice a quest. Oh, I think that's over here. But I am going to sell some of the stuff in my inventory because I have a very limited inventory starting out. And I do need money, so kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that. And I think I'm also going to pick up this quest over here. Webwood Venom. I came to Shadowglen to observe the webwood spiders that dwell in the Shadow Thread Cave. They are cousin to a much smaller variety of spider. I believe the World Tree has had a profound effect on them, and I would like some specimens to study to confirm this. First, I would like some of their venom. Gather wood venom sacs from the spiders in and around the Shadow Thread Cave to the north. I can then examine them for similarities with their smaller cousin's venom. Quest objective: bring 10 webwood venom sacs to Gilshalon Windwalker at Aldrassil. And that will tie in with the quest I just picked up. But I want to talk to the centaur over here first. Tarandrello. I see you found me, young night elf. Malithar is a wise druid to have sent you. Something evil is brewing in the forests of Teldrassil. Look along the hills to where the peaceful furblogs used to dwell. They have deserted their homes and are amassing under the name of the Gnarlpine tribe. Only the corruption of wicked Felmoss could cause such a transformation. The Grells and Grelkin have infested the area and are threatening the residents of Shadowglen. Engage these Grells and Grelkin, Lunacy, and see if they are indeed caught under the enchantment of the wicked Felmoss. Quest objective: collect 8 Felmoss and bring them to Tarandrella. And they're right over here. They do drop them, but I can't remember if the moss can also be on the ground as well. But since I'm very low level, I do want some experience. So I will be taking care of them by fighting them, especially since they are yellow enemies, which means they are non-hostile. So I don't have to worry about pulling too many than what I can handle. But you'll notice my mana bar is depleting a little bit faster, and I'm only level 3. It does regenerate relatively quickly, though. I think that was cloth, yeah. So I don't want to equip cloth even though I'm capable of it, do try and stick with strictly leather. Just because I believe in the later levels, it does make a difference, so it's a good habit to have. Satisfy my suspicions, Lunacy. Bring to me 8 Felmos. Here you go. Your service to the creatures of Shadowglen is worthy of reward, Lunacy. You confirmed my fears, however. If the growls have become tainted by the Felmos, one can only imagine what has become of the Gnarlpine tribe of Furblogs who once lived here. Should you find yourself in Dolinar, able druid, seek out the knowledgeable druid Athridus Bearmantle. He shares our concern for the well-being of the forest. I'm gonna go with those pants. It is a big upgrade. And she did give me a healing herb that I could eat, but I shouldn't need it. I think I'm actually going to sell the stuff that's in my inventory before I head to the north, because I will be killing quite a few spiders, and I just want to keep my inventory relatively open. It is interesting to read some of these quests just to know the story behind why I have to go and slay the things that they want me to slay. I don't want to spoil anything. I have done this starting zone many times, many times, and I've always just, click accept, yep, whatever, and go do the thing that they ask me, go to the area my add-on is telling me to go and get my rewards. But it is interesting to read the story behind it, in my opinion. So I'm gonna kill these spiders. 10 venom sacs. That's another quest objective for that lady's friend up here. And to know that that is a timed quest. So I am going to kill the spiders first, I think. Because I can't remember if it's timed from me talking to him or timed when I go back and talk to the person who gave me the quest. It's an upgrade, so I'll be equipping that. Should be right after I kill this. Ding is just another word for level up. It's a cloth belt, which I'm not gonna equip. So that will be going to the vendor. I do really appreciate the questy add-on because without it, it doesn't show you where any of the quest objectives are. It's just you kind of have to go out and figure it out. So questy does help considerably. A lot less hunting around for things and scratching your head in wonderment. I'm so glad you found me, Lunacy. How did you know I was here? Ah, I was bitten very badly by a spider named Giltheus the Vile while exploring the spider cave very close to here. I am sure I have been seriously poisoned. You must help me. Please tell Diranaya Silver Shrine. She will be able to help me. Hurry, I'm so dizzy. Speak to Durinari Silver Shrine in Shadowblend. Some of the names, unfortunately, are going to be butchered. I do like when it's raining over in this zone. It's very peaceful, in my opinion. I think just because I like when it rains in real life, too. It's a nice ambiance, in my opinion. So I'm going to run back here and turn in those 2 quests. One for the spiders and the other for the friend. Did you gather the venom sacs, Lunacy? Here you go. Thank you, Lunacy. When I return to Darnassus, I will compare the venom within these sacs with the venom of the other spiders. It is my belief that it will have properties linked to the recent growth of our New World tree. And I will be taking that staff. I prefer staffs over daggers. Webwood egg. Now that I have the spider's venom, I'd like some live specimens to study. Unfortunately, capturing a living giant spider is more than I can ask of you, young druid. And a giant spider is more than I could handle myself. But if you can find an unhatched egg, then delivering specimens will be much easier, and I can then arrange for the unhatched spider to be contained. There must be a nest deep in the Shadow Thread Cave. Please search for an egg in the nest and return it to me. Objective: bring a webwood egg to Gilshalon in Eldrasil. And I believe she, the friend, is going to give me an antidote. I think that is the part that has a time limit on it. A friend in need. Oh dear, I was wondering why I hadn't seen Everon yet today, and I've always warned him about those spiders. Everon's antidote. We may be able to help Everon as I know of an antidote that should help with the poison. It requires some ingredients, though, before I can make it. I'll need high Kenneth mushrooms. You can find these growing under trees, or you may collect them from the Grell south of here. They seem to have taken a liking to them. I'll also need moon petal lilies, which only grow around watery pools. The last ingredient may prove the most difficult. From the very spiders that poisoned Everon, collect webwood ichor. So I need to collect 7 high Kenneth mushrooms, 4 moon petal lilies, and 1 webwood ichor for Durania, Silver Shrine, and Shadow Glen. So, as you see, there are some sparkly mushrooms next to some of the trees. Those will be what I collect. I see one over on the rocks too. If I remember correctly, they did not used to drop from the Grell, which are these guys right here, but I could be misremembering. It has been about 14 years since I played Wrath of the Lich King as current content, and I was a new player at the time. Also, again, not reading the quest objectives or the quest flavor text, as I sometimes call it. So it may just have been something that I didn't notice in the past. And this one should be the last one I need. And then I can go get the lilies, or the moon lily petals. From over by those little pools that I swam through earlier. As you can see, there's the sparkly lilies. And I need 4. Which there are an ample supply of, so that is not a problem. And then I'm going to go back over to the spiders and try and get the last quest item for the antidote. I believe it would be wise, well, that didn't take long. I believe it'll be wise if I go in the cave for that other quest and get that egg that the other guy asked for. Thankfully, these are non-hostile. I think I have to go around this way, if I remember correctly, and then go around and up, because otherwise I drop off of that cliff there. I'm not sure if my mic is going to pick up any like clicky noises or keyboard noises. I did kind of put a filter on the mic just to kind of cut out some of the background noise that I know will be happening because it's during the day. And I live on a relatively busy street, so I did want to cut out as much of that background noise as possible. Unfortunately, it probably will cut out some of the sounds that some people might find relaxing, like the keyboard and the mouse clicking. So my inventory is getting quite full. I will need to vendor a lot of this stuff. It is a little bit weird that I have like the quest items in my inventory just because I've been playing more retail lately, and in retail there are very few quest items that stay in your inventory, so it does make it a little more challenging to manage that inventory space. That very limited inventory space. Have you been inside the Shadow Thread Cave, Lunacy? Did you find a spider egg? Yes, I did. Here you go. Ah, very good. I will have this egg venom transported to Darnassus, then return there when my studies are done here. I expect to find out a great deal from these specimens, Lunacy. You have been a great help to me. Suppose I'm gonna take the tunic. Tenaran's summons. Lunacy, is it? I heard that Tenaran has been asking for you. You'll find him in the highest room atop Aldrasil. We may live long lives, but it's best you not keep him waiting too long. Speak with Tenaran, Stormgrip, atop Aldrasil and Shadowglen. As much as he is trying to rush me to the top of the tree, I do want to vendor these items and give that lady the ingredients to the antidote. Another reason I want to vendor these items is because I should have some new spells available from the druid trainer. And that does cost money, so I want to make sure I have enough. Please collect the ingredients, Lunacy. Everon needs our help. Thank Elune that you have gathered these ingredients so quickly. In just a moment, I will have the antidote prepared. The antidote is ready, Lunacy. Please see that Everon drinks it. There is something that you should know. The antidote. It will only remain viable for 5 minutes. You must get it to him in time. Speed be with you, Lunacy. Bring Everon's antidote to Everon before the time limit is up. Everon can be found by the cave to the north. So I am going to run up there and get him his antidote. And it does track the time right here. I'm not sure if it's too easy to see on whatever screen you're watching. It does seem a little bit small in comparison to everything else. And the downside to having to run everywhere is that, yes, sometimes it does take a while. Usually the quest objectives are not always this close to each other. And I don't get a mount until level 20. But as a druid, I do get a travel form, I believe at level 16. As long as I have enough money to purchase that spell when it becomes available to me. Oh, Lunacy, I'm so glad you have returned. What is this, Lunacy? Oh, I knew Durania would be able to help me. Everyone drinks the antidote. I'm always getting into trouble with Durania. Well, she always manages to help me out of it. I am feeling much better, but I think I will sit here for a while longer until I feel completely better. Well, that, and I was hoping you'd clear a path for me through those vicious webwood spiders. So I think I'm gonna take this. It should vendor for more money than the cloth, since I can't use either of them. He never does leave that spot when it comes to, I guess, the story. He does stay there for good. But I am going to head back down and up that tree. I am going to talk to the druid trainer and Teneran. I'm not sure if, I can't remember his name. I can't remember if Teneran is the druid trainer, which he may be. I'm very bad with names, and there are a lot of names being thrown around in all these quests. But I believe Teneran is at the very top of the tree, whereas the druid trainer is only on the second level, I guess you could say. Yeah, so I'm going to talk to the druid trainer first. And he has a new a new spell for me, a couple new spells it looks like. Which I will put on my action bar. Teneran summon Lunacy. I was hoping you'd be prompt in answering my summons. I have an important task that I would like you to perform. Crown of the Earth. It is time for you to set out to seek your destiny, Lunacy. But before you are ready to set out into the world beyond our enchanted forests, there is much you must learn about our recent history. Much has changed with our people since the battle for Mount Hyjal. Nordrassil lies a pale shadow of what it once was. Its power used to defeat Argamond and drive back the Burning Legion. There is a task you must perform. Go to the Moonwell north of Aldrassil and return me a phial of its water. Fill the crystal phial and bring it back to Teneran Stormgrip atop Aldrassil. So this quest in particular makes me wonder, because I gave it some thought, before I settled on doing Wrath of the Lich King as the starting quest, like to start these ASMR videos. Because I kind of wanted to start at the very beginning of everything, of the story of World of Warcraft. And I settled on Wrath of the Lich King because it was my favorite expansion. It was my favorite time to play, and that may have to do with it being reminiscent for me. I wanted to say that most of the quests did stay the same from like original classic vanilla to Wrath of the Lich King, but this quest is referencing the Burning Legion and Archimonde, which didn't happen until after vanilla. It was the technically first expansion of World of Warcraft, so there may be some quests that have changed, but I think a majority of the quests stayed the same, and I didn't want there to be a tremendous amount of repetition if and when I move on to like retail quests, because I know Cataclysm, which came right after Wrath of the Lich King, it reshaped a lot of the zones, and a lot of the quests did change, kind of update as far as the storyline. So I didn't want there to be a terrible amount of repetition in there. And I do want to enjoy Wrath of the Lich King a little bit more. I don't want to play retail all the time. I do, like I said, I do stream on Twitch, and generally when I am on Twitch, I am playing retail, so I think this would be a nice change from that. But I do plan on at some point doing some ASMR videos with current content, or retail, as most people in the WoW community call it. And it will be, a lot has changed from this to retail, so it is quite a jump. So I wanted to start off slow and see how I liked making these videos first. The Moonwells hold the waters of the Well of Eternity, the ancient source of magic that has wrought so many horrors upon our world. The druids take advantage of its properties, and the sentinels revere the wells as shrines to Elune, but sorcery is forbidden to all. So you have heard the first part of the aftermath of the Battle of Mount Hyjal. There is much more to be told, and the task you have begun here will continue through the rest of your journey through Teldrassil and into Darnassus. While there is more I could speak to you of the Moonwells and of Teldrassil, I must send you along. Orithris Moonrage will be expecting you. I have poured the phial of water you brought to me into this vessel to bring to him. Seek out Orithris. You will find him at the Moonwell in Dolinar. Follow the road south from Aldrassil, out of Shadowglen, and continue to follow the cobblestones as the road turns west. Mind you stay on the road though, Lunacy. There are dangerous beasts in the forest of late. Quest objective: bring the partially filled vessel to Orithris Moonrage in Dolinar. So I do believe that is all the quests in the starting zone. Apologies for the background noise. Which it seemed to go relatively quickly, I must admit. But I am approaching almost an hour of recording time, which I think I will run to the next city, and I may end it there just for this video, because it has been a couple weeks since I've uploaded, so I do want, I was kind of shooting for about an hour and a half length video. And then I might record another one right after, but it might not go up for maybe another week. I do like to kind of space them out a little bit. It does look like there is another quest, so I will definitely be picking it up. Dolinar delivery. Greetings, young druid. Can you offer me aid? I have a package of herbs that I must deliver to the town of Dolinar, but I still have business with the druids of Shadowglen and cannot yet leave. Can you deliver this package for me? It must be sent to innkeeper Caldemir at the Dolinar Inn. It lies along the road to the south. Bring the Dolinar delivery to innkeeper Caldemir. I sure will. Absolutely. So I am officially out of the starting zone. And while these creatures are not hostile, there will be some hostile creatures now, as I'm sure you will see on my way over to Dolinar. And there is going to be a quest over here. As you see, these ones are red, meaning they are hostile. They will attack me if I get too close to them. And in the world of Warcraft, this is a demon. Zen's bidding. Eager for work, I see. Lucky for you, a day never goes by that I don't wish I had a fledgling druid to perform my bidding. You see, Lunacy, I can make you very happy and provide you with things you never dreamed of having. But in order for that to happen, you must bring me certain items. My business in the forest often requires certain reagents. Fetch for me 3 night saber fangs, 3 strigid owl feathers, and 3 swatches of webwood spider silk. Let's keep this our little secret night elf. Quest objectives. Bring Zen Foulhoof outside of Dolinar 3 night saber fangs, 3 strigid owl feathers, and 3 swatches of webwood silk, spider silk. So, like I was saying, he is a demon. He is making promises of things that I could only dream of. And he is asking me to kill creatures. So I think I will kind of try and do that before I end this video. These enemies are a little bit harder. They do a little bit more damage, but as you can see, I do down here have a defense skill that does increase over time as I take damage. And it cannot go up infinitely. It is limited based off of what my overall level is. So as I am level 5 right now, my max skill allotted should be 25. It raises by 5 every time I level up. And it is not just for defense, it is actually for different weapons as well. There are separate skills for you to level up. Like if I were melee, it would level up whatever I've equipped it. So right now if I were to try and melee, it would increase my staff skill. But as I'm going to be a balanced druid, it isn't terribly important for me to level those up. I may do it in the future if I see fit. I am gonna kill this spider just because I don't want to accidentally pull anything that I shouldn't. And I do kind of want to kill a few extra enemies here and there just to kind of get some extra experience. I don't want to fall behind leveling up. And at some point, probably not in this video, but at some point, I will be picking up my professions, which usually I go with herbalism and alchemy, just because I really like doing those professions. I can make potions and elixirs with the flowers that I pick from herbalism. It was my original 2 professions that I picked up, and I always really liked them. I tried all the other professions on different characters, and I think I just always really liked the herbalism and alchemy combo the best. I found it to help with versatility, just because there are so many different elixirs and potions that you can make to help you in different situations. So I've always really liked that. It looks like somebody else was over here killing different mobs that I need. So I think I might go into town and end this video, and I will more than likely record another one right after this, but probably upload it next week. I think I do want to turn in this one at least before ending it, because I do want to make this in my home so that when I use my hearthstone I come back here and not all the way back at where I started. So the Dolinar delivery. How might I be of service to you, young one? Are you here to rest in the inn? Do you require a hearthstone? Ah, yes, the delivery of herbs from Shadowland. It is a shame Prothanius could not bring it himself, for we have much to discuss, he and I. But I am glad to get the herbs nonetheless, and I am glad you came. While you are here, please rest yourself. Heroes must keep their strength and spirits high, and must find rest and solace whenever they may. For to neglect one's peace of body and amid and mind is sure path to failure. So I think that's a very appropriate ending message as I end this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave some feedback in the comments, and I will talk to you next time. I hope you have sweet dreams and good night. Bye.